Hello, my name is Tara, and for the next 10 minutes I want to invite you all into my workshop. And this workshop took 2 years to create, and at the heart of this workshop, you actually don't need any tools. You can join in with the people that you're going to meet along the way, and we're going to discuss how UDL really helped fashion and shape this course in beauty therapy, but not just beauty therapy. As a skills practitioner, how do we include everyone? So COVID came along. It locked everybody out of the workshops. Nobody could get in. So we had to sit and think and redesign and restructure the courses to suit the needs of the learners. Generation Apprenticeship, have a look there online later on. It's amazing. There's 62 new apprenticeships, right? They're all refashioned. 5,000 to 10,000 by 2025. Young people, mature people, people who think that they're just good with their hands. Possibly not. At the end of this presentation, you may see they're a lot better at an awful lot more things. So we've got a workshop-based, practical, hands-on delivery of content within this further education and training sector. I developed 5 dimensions of UDL to include everybody in this hybrid workshop. Again, we were all locked out during COVID. How do we get back in? Dimension 1 was agency. Dimension 2 was incremental introduction of apps or tools to help people access our workshops. Dimension 3 was to recreate the workshop in a digital classroom. If you're an electrician, or if you have a son and he's saying, "Ma'am, all I want to do is wind turbine maintenance," how can they get in? Dimension 4, how do we measure, mark, and use methodologies for assessment? And Dimension 5, how do we reset? How do we get feedback? Today is wonderful to look at everybody's different concepts, but at the focus of all of this is to assess not just how well they did, but how was that journey for that person? So the traditional workshop classes would focus on on-site workshop skills, training for apprenticeships and traineeships in FET. And traditionally, in the 22 years that I'm doing skills training, our theory would come from a textbook, or maybe, if you're lucky, a couple of PowerPoints along the way. Here you have some of the learners in the workshop demonstrating hand skills such as epilation, needlework, massage, skincare, electrical machine treatments, and anatomy and physiology. How was I going to teach that through the computer to people that had various different learning needs, different backgrounds? Over 100 people came to me for interview. I had only space for 32. How could I fit everybody's needs in online and really quickly? So basically, what we did was we set, and when I say we, Kerry College, our learners, myself, we set, and we said, what do we need to do to continue classes during COVID? We put the learner at the centre. Who are you? What have you done? And what arose was a little bit sad at times. "Oh, sure, I'm only good with my hands. School really wasn't for me." I jumped at that chance, that opportunity to listen. And Kerry College were super supportive. We had a laptop scheme within Kerry College that enabled all learners to have access to a device. Everybody has a phone, but access to a device. Kind of give that love. I have a laptop in my home. I don't just have a phone. I did the DigiComp Edu surveys because I enrolled with NCI, the National College of Ireland, with the likes of the amazing Carrie Archer. And by God, did I plague that woman with loads of different questions on how do I, but what if? And hang on a minute, poor Carrie's ears were nearly falling off her head by the end of the semester. We did a Teams training for everybody. So everybody on that course had Teams training, and all of a sudden there's a laptop in these homes that never had a laptop before. Or maybe now I mightn't just use it for Teams. I might see will I go and do a bit of online banking for the first time. It's not too daunting. Dimension 2 then was the amazing immersive reader. Okay, incrementally adding apps such as this was a game changer. What we did was we redesigned the workshop space with a broad and vibrant student choice of technology. What worked for you? Oh, I kind of liked Teams. Oh, I loved a bit of Flipgrid. I loved when we could go on and practice from home and engage with each other. I didn't feel so isolated. I loved the breakout rooms. I loved the chat. So not only were we implementing UDL that was student-focused, we were creating a little bit of transformation. And this is not just for those learners. This is for the families of those learners, creating a cultural shift. This is Terry. Terry used to be an engineer, and all he wanted was beauty therapy because he wanted to open a spa in Killarney. He was able to go onto OneNote and Teams and use his amazing skills and collaborate with other learners that had those amazing skills too. But the narrative in their heads was, I'm only good with my hands. I'm not really going to be that good. But Terry showed them, break that boundary. Let's work together. That's some of Terry's work there on the class notebook. And look, I've never seen a bigger smile on my face, and anyone's face, than when he was working with makeup on Breed. He felt so empowered. This is Kanu. Kanu had very, very little English. So when she worked online with us, she was able to bounce between classrooms, the hybrid classroom online and the workshop space, using immersive reader. I could speak to her in Thai and she could come back to me in English. My Thai wouldn't be as good as her English at this stage, but she's able to communicate with clients. She's gone back to Thailand and she has 2 sisters that are going to return to us for further training. This is Katarina from Portugal, who's now working in the Dingle Beauty Lounge. And again, she used Immersive Reader and Teams. She also used Google Translate and Office Lens. And she's qualified now, and she's a small child, and she has changed the course of her life with UDL. This is Claire. As she described herself, I'm not great with reading now, Tara, but she's well able for electrical treatments. And she's absolutely fantastic now that she represented Kerry in the National Skills Competition a couple of weeks in the RDS. This is Valeria from Moldova, and again, she's working full-time. We used apps such as ThingLink, Flipgrid, and we also reshuffled all of the assessments to make sure they were more user-friendly. Okay, you mightn't be able to write it, tell me. You mightn't be able to tell me, show me, and show each other. You can see there that assessment tools such as quizzes were really, really popular. And we wrote our own book. They wrote their book. So in their school bags of their children, some of the single moms that I teach were like, Tara, this gem guide to this thesaurus and the English-Irish dictionary, let's do our anatomy one. So we use Book Creator. At the end, when I had a chat with them, we did some mentees, we did some surveys, we used forms, we did group discussions and interviews, and they all found it so exciting and beneficial, which was music to my ears. Then we decided to work a little bit closer over the summer. This pilot worked very well then for a team of young traveller women that came into me. No literacy at all. You could see that she could be working in a spa. She is so confident. For the first time, those 8 families experienced industry and agency through using what they're used to using, which was their phones and apps that suited them. Again, I won't bore you with the 5 dimensions. You're already using the 5 dimensions. But I'm hoping to show those 5 dimensions to FET practitioners that work within skills training and say, yes, there's a label for what you're doing and there's a label for the care that we have for people, and everyone is included, and it's incremental small steps. You might believe the narrative that, I'll do an hour apprenticeship, I'm just good with my hands, but you are good with so much more. And when you're good with so much more, that will cascade into your family and change that culture. We're changing the culture within HEA and FET, but most importantly, we're changing the culture in those homes for those children and those families that are watching mum and dad succeed. We've also piloted this with my last 30 seconds. I'm from Kerry. We took a team of Ukrainian visitors, and we're working very closely with our Ukrainian guests this year with Powtoon, the UDL badge and collaboration, and we're rolling this out through Kerry College, but we're also rolling this out to you and any other skills practitioners. Maybe someone delivering horticulture wants to look at this and go, yes, it will work, and I will open my door, and I'm not going to be afraid of the challenge that comes before me. I'm going to finish by thanking everyone from Kerry College. I'm also going to finish by thanking the learners that don't stop. Behind all of this, you have someone that really wants a chance, and we are so privileged to give that to that learner. Thank you.